Music. So this one's going to be a big one for me, man. This is one that I've probably wanted to talk about music for so long. I always knew that when I started doing my YouTube videos that I would want to talk about music. I'm just going to open this window, guys, because it's actually a little bit warm today, which is a nice change. So music, this is a big one. Normally I have my script with me when I do these videos, but this one I'm just going to go straight off the head. So I do apologize if I'm rambling or anything, or you feel like, you know, like I'm going off subject a little bit, but this is like one that is like such a massive part of my life that it's only right that we talk about it. So this video is probably going to be a little bit longer than the other one, so if you want, pause it, go and make a coffee, you know, go and get a drink and come back and we're going to talk, man. So music has been a massive part of my life from a very young age. And in this video I want to talk about how music, specifically rap and hip-hop music, really negatively impacted my life. And it took me a long time. It wasn't till about, I would say about just under a year ago, that I looked back at music and was like, it's the culprit to all of the negative things that happened in my life. Now granted, I'm not putting my blame into music because I am my own person. I should have known better. But remember, I've been listening to music and, you know, trying to get into music from a very young age. So I want to talk about how, you know, how music can negatively impact your mind, impact your brain, and sort of like what I do now. So I think we need to go back. So going back to when I was about 7 years old. Remember, I'm 35 now. Going back to when I was 7 years old, I remember my dad had a cassette tape, and he put on he had a tape of Warren G, and it had Regulate on it, and it must have been a new thing, or I don't know what it was, but he had Regulate on there. And then he used to play a lot of Bob Marley as well. And back then, when I heard this music, I was like, what is this? Obviously I'm a young man, I'm a young boy, you know, so I don't really understand what's going on. This is 1997, you know, and I'm like, what is this? Like, this is amazing, you know. I guess that's when I consciously started understanding what music was. So I remember my old man playing Bob Marley, playing Warren G, and then back then you couldn't obviously go on the internet to look for music. So, you know, you couldn't go on YouTube. There was no internet back then, you know. You had to like use a tape and record like music off the radio and this kind of stuff, you know. So I remember my old man, you know, he used to put radio on at like 9 o'clock, and it would have like Tim Westwood, who's a big hip-hop DJ in the UK, and he'd be playing like Big L. I remember Nas, Memory Lane. There was a Big L song. It was amazing, man. It was like an alphabet sort of thing. It was amazing. But yeah, Nas, Memory Lane, loads of DMX, Rough Riders, the early LOX, Bad Boy, so Puff Daddy, Mace, all of that kind of stuff. And my young ears, when I heard that, oh my God, bro, it was like, yo, what is this? It was amazing. I thought this music is fantastic. Like, bro, I got so like in delve with music. I remember like it'd be like 10 or 11 o'clock on a school night, and Tim Westwood's show came on later and later because obviously the words, the swear and all this kind of stuff. So I remember it came on at like 11:30, so I'd put the tape on, the cassette tape, and I'd record, you know, at like 10 o'clock on the radio, on the hi-fi, and yeah, and I'd put it on 10 o'clock, and I'd make sure it records some of these songs. And like, just when I'm thinking back to it, man, they were like really innocent times for me, man. So as years went on, you know, I got more and more delved into hip hop. So my mum, everyone started buying me CDs. My mum, bless her, probably didn't understand, you know, the negative impact that these CDs were making to my life. So, you know, my mum bought me like Lil Kim, Jay-Z albums, Jermaine Dupri. I was just a massive hip hop rap fan, specifically West Coast hip hop and New York hip hop. New York was more my favorite, you know, Mace, Wu-Tang, Diddy, Method Man, Redman, all of these things. And so I remember as the years were going on, my mum was buying me CDs. My dad at the time like would buy me like rap CDs, and I'd be listening to this stuff, and I really got really got delved into that lifestyle, man. Like I started dressing like that. I started buying like do-rags and friggin', you know, the new era hats, and oh my god, and we used to get these big chains and stuff, trying to impersonate all the, you know, the rappers and stuff. And it was funny, man. And like I told you in another video, like Tupac, I remember Tupac had this had like tattoos and stuff, so I'd like draw them on myself. Like, it was mad. I was really involved in that life, man. And yeah, as time went on, it was like, it started off with an innocent thing, but as time went on, I didn't realize how this music was subliminally getting to me. You know, you don't realize, being such a young man, I didn't realize what was going on. So it was like the ages of 10, 11, 12, I started having a lot of problems in school. I wouldn't really listen to authority. You know, I wanted to do my own thing, because remember, this music is telling you, like, you know, fuck the law, you know, fuck, you know, fuck listening to authority, you know, dress a certain way, talk a certain way, treat women a certain way. Remember how disgusting this music is. But I loved this growing up, you know, and I admired them, you know, like I told you in another video, you know, we never really had any proper role models. So I was looking at these rappers, you know, and I was like, yo, these guys, they look like me. You know, I love the way that they talk. I love the music. I was like, that's what I want to do. Like, when I was young, I was like, I'm going to be a rapper one day. If I'm not going to be a rapper, I'm going to be a DJ. I'm going to do something in music. But I was like, I'm determined. The main thing was like rapping. I wanted to be a rapper. Anyway, as time's going on in school for me, I'm getting in more and more trouble. I'm getting kicked out. I'm not able to listen in school. When I go home, I'd go and sit in my room and I'd put these rap CDs on, and I'd just sit there and just for hours just taking all of these words that these rappers are saying, taking everything that they're talking about. And, you know, as time went on, I got to like the age of like 15, and I got kicked out of school or whatever, and I had my first child at 15 years old, man. Like, I was really young, but I was like, I was still really delved into that music, into the rap lifestyle. I started hosting like sets, like raps, grime sets over here in the UK. I started hosting them on Sundays at my dad's place or whatever. And then I just started getting more involved into alcohol, into smoking weed. Yeah, got in with like a wrong crowd or whatever, but the crowd that I got in with, remember, like, we're all listening to rap music. You know, like how I said when I was younger, it was like, oh, we just want to dress like them, and, you know, and wear the do-rag or whatever, and just look like it. It became like, as I was getting older, no, what they were saying became sort of like my life. You know, being kicked out of school, being rude to people, you know, not having any sort of like morals and stuff. Like, this is what this music teaches you, man. I know you probably don't want to hear it, but a lot of your favorite rappers, this is what they're saying, man. Like, you can listen to a Tupac song, for example, and he's like, yo, fuck the law, fuck this, fuck that, you know, I'm with hoes, like, you can hear all of this stuff. Like, hear it, listen, just listen to it, innit? Like, when you're listening to rappers, you can hear what they're talking about. It was subliminally messing me up. Anyway, whatever. My dad's gone when I was like 17 years old. He's like, me and him have just stopped talking for whatever reason. I can't even remember what happened, like, but he moved out of the town that we lived in or whatever. And so, yeah, that's when it became a fucking mess, man, because, you know, dad's gone now. I've become like a man, basically, at 17 or whatever, and then 18. And I really, like I told you in another video, I didn't have no male role models around me. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this music thing now. This is what I'm gonna do. But I got so into that fucking life. Like, I remember, like, my mum would say to me, like, read Quran, like, do some prayers. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. I found it, like, you know, like, astaghfirullah, but I didn't want anything to do with that. I just wanted to be a rapper. I started, you know, more and more acting like them, you know, getting the look, the tattoos started coming out. You know, I treat women with like the dirtiest respect, stuff for like, you know, like, just talk. I don't even want to say all this stuff, like, for me to, like, you know, boast about like that life, because this is awful. But I'm just trying to give you guys like a backstory into like what it done for me, man. So I'd be horrible to women, like, you know, just treat them like shit. I'd sleep with them, and then I just didn't want to talk to them. Be on to the next one, treat them horrible. I'd say to them like, yeah, I want to be with you, all this kind of stuff, and just to bang them, you know. I'd party. Just, oh man, just like, I was just so out of control, man. Then I started getting in trouble with police, and Police would be at my mum's house at like 2 a.m. banging on the door. I remember they come and got me at like 4 a.m. one time. Oh man, like, you know, I just caused so much trouble at home. And I couldn't understand what I remember. Like, I got to like 19, something like that, 20, and I didn't really understand why I was so fucking out of control, man. Obviously the area and being around the people I was being around, like, that played a big part, 100% it did. But like, I was like, but why am I like, why can't I calm myself down, you know? Why am I so erratic, man? Why am I so like just mad, like, you know? And like I said to you, man, I was just partying all the time, drinking all the time. I had a job, but you know, I was just, oh my God. And then I remember like just getting more and more and more ink, and people were saying to me, my mum would say to me, she's like, what are you doing, son? Like, you look like a fucking mess. And I was like, nah, man, it's cool, it looks good. You know, I was just so indulged in that life. I remember like Wiz Khalifa. So as I'm getting older now, Wiz Khalifa's becoming a thing. Kid Ink, Tiger, all these people are getting fucking loads of Lil Wayne's tattooing all his face, you know. And I'm like, yeah, man, that's what I've got to do. They're all smoking. I started smoking loads of weed, you know, and it was all about like drinking expensive bottles. So every bit of money I'd have, I'd be buying like fucking Grey Goose and Hennessy and all this shit. And it just got so crazy, man. Like, you know, I remember like leaving the house at like 9 a.m. and not coming back till like fucking 12 o'clock the next day in the afternoon, like just fucked, like been out all day partying, being with women, come back, I'm just fucking like out of it, man. I remember my house is like a really nice, calm Muslim house. I grew up at my grandmother's house, you know, and bless her, she never gave up with me, man. She never ever, that's one thing, she never gave up with me. And oh my God, like I was a fucking wreck, man. Anyway, so as time's gone on, I've got into like self-development and all this kind of stuff. I've started fixing myself up. I remember I told you, like, got my missus or whatever. Then I realised like the tattoos, I just started really going off them, man. I was like, I look a mess, man. Like, I actually looked at myself, I was like, yo, I look a fucking state. What's going on? And you know, they say like in Islam, they say like music is a bad thing. You shouldn't be listening to music. And I never really, I thought that's like, you know, like I thought to myself, like, what's the big deal? Like, that's just a bit over the top. Because remember, back then I was out of control, so it was like no pork, no alcohol, you know, no smoking, no intoxicants, no having tattoos, no, you know, listening to music. I was like, yo, this is too much for me, man. Like, and then as time went on, it was only like a year ago, man, I really looked back at the whole music thing, because there was a time when I was like, you know, I'm gonna be a DJ, I'm gonna do music. I got really delved into that life. Like I said to you in another video, I've got like hundreds of rap songs on YouTube from like 13-14 years ago, where like I was trying to become a rapper. You know, I've got like old social medias where like I was, you know, just, I don't know, man, like I was just crazy, man, you know. And it was mad. It was just a mad time. It weren't till a year ago, like obviously, you know, from the age of like 24, I started calming down a little bit, started becoming a bit more mature. And it's when I was 24, and you know, I didn't listen to music as much, got into the gym, got into self-defense. I got into, you know, just eating healthy, living a healthy life, you know. Then I started getting into my religion as well, about, you know, like properly, I'd say 27 maybe, I started getting into my religion properly. Still didn't understand it, but I started, you know, just getting into it. And you know, it weren't till a year ago, you know, my kids are getting a little bit older now, and it's like I don't know, something just went off in my head. Like, I think I said it in another video, I was listening to like, because I always listen to music, but I just make sure I didn't listen to too much in front of my kids. And I was listening to a DJ Khaled album, and Cardi B was on there, 21 Savage, all these people, and I still listen to that stuff. And it weren't till I looked back and I saw my daughter listening to this shit, and I was like, hang on a minute, listen to what the fuck these lot are saying, man. I grew up listening to this crap. My daughter, who's 7 years old, is taking it in. My son was sleeping in his chair, you know, in the back of the car, and subliminally this stuff is just going around in their head. I was like, hang on a minute, what the fuck? Like, Cardi B's talking about being a hoe, 21 Savage on about murder, this and that, tattoos all over their face, all these rappers, 6ix9ine, all these lot, tattoos all over their faces. And I was like, it just like a light bulb went off. I was like, all the negative, bad stuff that happened in my life all came down to me being so delved into that rap music lifestyle, you know. And And I saw another guy talk about this. He was saying about, you know, rap music, if you're from like a really nice, you know, upbringing, you know, like you're like upper class sort of thing, it won't, if you listen to it, it doesn't really affect you. But if you're from like the lower class, you know, which a lot of us were from, then you're gonna take what these rappers say as like, it's like a fucking, it's the way of life. And that's what happened, man. Because I had friends, you know, I had 1 or 2 friends that were like, weren't from that life, but still listened to it a little bit. But it didn't affect them. They were fine. There was no problem. But we're from, you know, quite a rough area. We took this shit as like literal, you know. And when I really look back at it, like, bro, all the negative stuff come from music, innit? All of the negative stuff come from music. And what I want to say is, like, as a man, like, if you're trying to look up to somebody, if you want to find a role model, like, do not use these rappers, man. Do not use them. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't even care if, like, you know, 1 or 2 rappers ever come across this video. Like, I'm honest to God, man, do not copy these guys. You know, you think that they're living this great life, smoking weed all the time, drinking every single day, you know, eating shit food, fucking smash, you know, getting with these fucking like slutty women or whatever. You know, and it looks great. They're in the club every single day. Bro, that life is dead, man. That life is fucking dead. Because I remember, like, drinking loads of drink, thinking that, yeah, man, it's a party, I'd have rap music playing, girls were there, whatever. And the next day, man, I'd be throwing my guts up, you know, and it would just be a constant cycle of this. Like, rappers are not fucking role models. They're there just to entertain. You know, all the tattoos on the face and the extravagant clothes and all the jewelry, it's just to fucking entertain. It's not fucking real life, man. Yeah, so that shit like really negatively impacted me, and I can see how it impacts people now. You can see, I see it now, man. I see young lads fucking listening to drill and trap, and, you know, we're walking around in balaclavas and all these stabbings in London and all this. I can see what's going on. I see it now, fully. And you know, like in Islam, it was like music is from like the devil used music, you know, to lure people and stuff and to sway people. And that's what it was. And it's so fucking crazy because I didn't really realise it back then. But, like, if you look at it now, like, you look at these rappers, man. Lil Wayne, look at fucking Eminem, look at all of these people, man. Like Travis Scott, look at Playboi Carti. Look at all of these guys, man. Like, all the satanic stuff. They're just throwing it in your face now. They're fully throwing it in your face. Look at Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. He's going through some shit now, you know, because it's all to do with all of that shit. It's all to do with badness, man. Like, the music industry is designed to fucking ruin our young brothers, our young sisters. Like, look at the women that, like, Sexy Red, all of these new rappers. And, like, me and my missus were watching the video the other day. We like to listen to some R&B when we're just chilling. Old school R&B. It was a bit more of a nicer time back then. 80s, 90s R&B was a bit more humble, man. But we were watching a video the other day, and we were listening to like an R&B song, watching the video, and we said to each other, like, we couldn't watch this with our daughter. Like, the girl was like fully naked in it, all these new, and then like we were watching like BET, and we were watching like loads of like new rappers that are women rappers. And we're like, I could never show my daughter this. But I watched all this shit growing up, man. Like, all of this shit, I thought this was normal. You can see it now, you know. You can see all of these rappers, all this demonic stuff. All these, like, look at Kanye West, man. Kanye West is fun, and none of them look happy. Let's be totally honest, man. None of these rappers look fucking happy, innit? Like, you look at, like, Jay-Z. Jay-Z, I can't find really anything where this guy's, like, there are probably 1 or 2, but I've never really found this guy to look like he's happy, man. Looks miserable. Kanye West, we won't even get into that. Kanye West is a whole nother topic, man. Kanye West is just fucked anyway, man. That guy is just, like, completely not with this world, man. He is, like, stressed all the time. This guy looks, like, miserable. Justin Bieber always looks fucking miserable. There's so many of them, man. Like, there's so many of these guys that just don't look happy. And you know, you got to think, like, this music is affecting them. Like, music is energy. Music is a frequency, you know. So, like, when you're listening to this music, it's affecting you, man. It gives you anxiety. It makes you feel nervous. You know, when I was growing up, there was no, like I said, I was looking at these rappers, and none of them were like strong, masculine men. So I didn't really understand about working out, about staying strong, about, you know, learning self-care, all this. It doesn't teach you none of that. It just teaches you to party, to smoke weed, to drink alcohol, to, you know, be a degenerate, you know, and, you know, want to experience like getting arrested and doing bad shit. That's what it does, man. And disrespect women, all this shit. That's what it does. So rap music, mate, it was a negative, very, very negative part of my life, and it has been forever. Now, the big question is, do I still listen to music? And the answer is yes, I do. Because I've had it in my life since the age of 7. It's very hard for me to just switch it off. However, what I do now, I don't listen to it in the, like, if I'm just driving, I won't listen to rap music. I'll have the Quran on, or we'll have the radio playing in the back, and 9 times out of 10 it's like old school, like R&B or UK garage and stuff, just more humble stuff. Asian network as well. This kind of stuff isn't like pumping in your ear, talking about, you know, all the bad shit and all, like, to do this, do that. It's just humble. So, you know, I schedule music now, rap music in particular, you know, so I don't listen to these fuckers like all day long, and I don't take it in. But what I do now is I schedule it, and this is how I schedule it. So in the morning when I wake up, I will listen to Quran, you know, to help me get up, or I listen to some affirmations, just something positive to get me going for the day. Now, when I get into the gym, and when I'm, you know, if I'm doing like some bag work, if I spar, we'll have rap music playing. You know, we'll have some Dre, we'll have some Snoop, we'll have some Tupac, we'll have some Eazy-E, this kind of stuff, because it gets your adrenaline going, because it's such a, you know, the vibration on it just gets you like really like pumped up. It boosts your adrenaline, you know, it gets you really fired up. You know, you can let out a bit of anger through that music. So that's when I use it, for when I'm in the gym, when I'm training for them 2 hours. And not even, you know what, most of the time now, it's like I listen to it for about 40 minutes in the gym, and then I'll turn it off and I'll listen to a podcast. And then after that, if I'm working, when I'm working, I listen to, you know, I'll listen to Quran, or I'll have a podcast playing in the back while I'm working. And then if I'm hanging out with my kids, you know, we'll listen to some Asian music, because it's not teaching you all the wrong things. It's not showing you, like, you can watch an Asian video and it's not like, you know, like, it's not all degenerate women half naked. It's not men like frigging, you know, smoking and doing all this kind of stuff in the videos. It's just, it's cool, man. And like if we're chilling with the kids and it's a summer's day, we're in the barbecue, then we'll have 80s or 90s R&B. So I'm very structured in how I listen to music. I would not have rap music playing in my car when I'm driving around and constantly listening to that shit, because that shit makes you fucking dumb as well, bro. That shit just makes you so stupid. Like when you see a lot of these rappers and when they're talking on interviews and stuff, bro, it's fucking nonsense, man. It's absolute nonsense. But like I was saying, man, like music was like something that I wanted to do. As that was my plan, that was my big goal. I put everything into music, man. Rap music, you know. Like I said, I've got hundreds of old songs all over YouTube. You know, you could one day maybe reveal the name of them, you know, so you can go back and do some, you know, and check the receipts, man, and see how degenerate I was back then. But yeah, music, I just want to, like, this whole story is just leading to basically just saying to, you know, anyone who's, you know, maybe going through a hard time in life, and you're a youngster, maybe you're a young teenage lad, or, you know, or you're an older man as well, you know, and you're still listening to rap music, and you still, you know, you still watch all this shit. Like, maybe just think about what you're listening to, what you're consuming in your ears. You know, like, this stuff plays a big part on you subliminally, man, and it can fucking really negatively impact your life, because you take this shit as literal. You know, you take all this shit as literal. You know, I've got friends that are dealing with it, and not even rap music. Like, I've got friends that listen to like other genres and stuff. Like, you can watch like pop music, yeah, like pop videos. Like, you can see like Sam Smith and Rihanna and all this. Like, bro, like, come on, man. Like, look at Sam Smith and how he's acting and that. Like, you don't want your son to act like fucking that, bro. Come on, man. Like, and all these like female, like, you know, women that are like fucking pretty much naked in video. You don't want your daughter to be like that, you know. So yeah, just be more conscious of what you're listening to, man. Like, this shit really does like negatively impact your mind. It can impact your lifestyle. Like I said, I got tatted all over the fucking place, and now whenever I go for like interviews, I've got to really fucking hide it, you know. Like, and it's a what's the word I'm looking for? It's tiring, man. It's so tiring to have to hide it, and, you know, and I try so much to forget about that old life that I had, man, you know. And like, in my early 20s, I should have been saving money, I should have been doing this, should have been doing that, and I wasn't. It was because of that life. It glorifies, like, you know, drinking alcohol and spending loads of money, and, you know, and being around women. All of that, just that'll ruin your bank balance, man. It will fuck you. So yeah, man, that's my 2 cents about music. I probably missed 1 or 2 bits in here, man, but yeah, man, I just want to say, like, just really be conscious, and if you can, you know, I know it's a big ask, but maybe just turn it off completely, man. Use it, maybe, like I said, like how I do for the gym, and that's it. And just turn that shit off, man. Listen to some jazz. I don't know. Listen to some mellow music. You know, some bossa nova. Bossa nova's quite nice as well. As you take that out, it's quite relaxing. But yeah, man. Hope you guys are all good, and I'll see you guys on the next one. God bless.